All right, we are going live. We are just waiting right here in this moment just to see what happens. We're going to see if it is streaming. It is sending data. All of this stuff actually takes a little while. So I'm starting just right on time today, just waiting for you guys all to get in here on YouTube. We're doing, let's see, it's streaming, says we are streaming. So we can get right into it without a lot of extra talking. I will tell you though, this week has been going super fast for me. I mean, I'm like, just feels like, just it is a whirlwind this week, just with some piano jobs and just with the 3 live sessions I'm doing here. So if you guys are in here, I'm going to be following along on YouTube, so you can make comments on YouTube. You can actually go there and watch it live and make comments on the YouTube channel. Today we're talking about day number 3 of the live stream. This is tools and tricks of the trade. Now, yesterday what we talked about was, how to make money and do things like that. If you missed second session, if you missed the first or second session, then you can go ahead and go right over to it, and you can click in Bolster. If you're registered, you can watch replays and get all the extra stuff that I'm going to add. I'm going to add some extra stuff here. In the next couple days. So hopefully you guys aren't hearing that. Let me focus my computer. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear any of those ding, ding, dings and things like that. Okay. I don't want to disturb myself. But what we're going to learn today, I'm going to get right into it so I can stay focused and get you guys going in like 40 minutes or so. I think this will be about 40 minutes. What we will learn today, where to get the tools and supplies that you need as a piano tuner, the best tools to get, like what tools should you get, what is the AccuTuner or an ETD, an electronic tuning device, the big 4 money makers for field techs, and my best-selling upsells. So the way that I make a little extra money, and actually a lot of extra money, especially when you're establishing yourself, you need to make as much money as you can and do as much work as you can so you can survive. The big money jobs, should you do them? Should you get into big money jobs? We're going to talk about that. How to get paid easily. And at the end, I'm going to give you a bonus 3 things that I never leave home without. This is going to be sort of a inside look into my tools and my tricks and my things. So you're going to want to stick around all the way to the end. And so if you don't know me, which you probably do, I'm Eric Roberts. I started tuning it's about 17 or 18 years ago. There's my family. There's my puppy. I think he's there. He's sleeping on the ground. I love that little puppy. And I love my family too. They think I love the puppy more, I guess, or something. I don't know. It's like the puppy. Okay, the puppy. Look how cute he is. My family's growing though. My boy is bigger than that now. He's so cute when he's little. He's getting a little bigger. I've been tuning for a while, and now in Nashville, I've been tuning here. Tuned for John Legend, Harry Connick Jr. Actually, you know what, guys? This left side, just so you guys feel excited about this, I tuned for all these people before I ever got to Nashville. So. Maybe not Garth Brooks. I think he was the one I got in Nashville. But Harry Connick and Victoria, Jax Mannequin, John Legend, and what's that band? I forgot there was a big band that called me, and I said no because I was busy and I didn't know who they were. And then later I found out through some of my younger friends, like, what are you doing, you moron? But here in Nashville, I got to tune for all these great people and work in the studios. Even worked in Treasure Isle, which is a huge studio. Jay Joyce does Keith Urban, Eric Church, Marion DeLambert. These guys are the guys I'm working with now. But before I even got to Music City, I was working for these people, and I show you how to do that. One of our students actually worked for Hanson. He's already in, not even a year in, he's already tuned for a Grammy Award-winning artist. So I have over 100 5-star reviews, and I think I have really none that are really low. I think I have 1 star. I don't even think I think that one got taken down. But we keep a very high rating. I've been also published in the Piano Technician's Journal, for those of you guys who like the PTG. There it is, along with some people. And we talked about this yesterday. Are there really enough pianos to make a full-time living? And yes, there absolutely are. And I showed you breakdown very specifically yesterday in our webinar yesterday about that. So make sure that you guys get into that webinar from yesterday and get the replay. Where are you going to get tools? So let's dive into this. All this is going to be easily replayed. If this feels like a lot of information, take notes, or maybe even ask me for the slide deck. Maybe even ask me for the actual notes. I have some notes that I wrote for this. And then I made this quick slide deck for you. But I buy all my tools now, most all of them from Shaft Piano. Now there used to be another place called Piano Tech. They went out of business. So I get all my tools from Shaft, and there are some other online retailers that I like, and you can find them, ones like Howard Piano and some other things like that. But you guys know that once you become a piano technician, once you get in the Apex mentorship, I'm going to get you into Shaft. I'm going to help you get an account with Shaft. So you're going to have a wholesale account. So better than buying from online or something, like going to buy from somebody else, you can actually buy straight from Shaft. So I think you'll get a better deal. I think that Howard Piano and a couple of those other people on the internet are good. I think they're good, but I don't think that I think that you can actually just get a better deal if you go right into Shaft, because you're gonna get the wholesale price, and you're gonna get it shipped right to you. You can also order strings. You can do everything that you can't get. I also shop on Amazon, of course, and I like Harbor Freight, so I will buy a lot of stuff from Harbor Freight. I keep it cheap. And there's a little tip that I had in here. And this could feel overwhelming, especially because I'm going to show you what you absolutely need, and I'm going to show you my toolkit today. But in the beginning, you don't need all the stuff. What you absolutely need, if you want to start tuning pianos and even learning, is what you absolutely need is a tuning hammer, some mutes, and an AccuTuner. That's all you absolutely need. You could start tuning, and even for pay, with almost no other tools. You might need a screwdriver. But you can actually do that, and that's all you need. So if you go to Shaft, before I dive right into there, I'll show you here what Shaft looks like right on the inside. So you can kind of see kind of an inside look at Shaft, and you'll be able to see like how nerdy you could get if you really wanted to be a tool nerd. It would be really easy, because you can go on Shaft and you can get felt. They have clearance. You can get piano benches. You can get books. You can get aluminum damper bushing. I'm not even sure what that would, I guess. Oh, it's aluminum. Yeah, so some stuff you're going to look in there. What is that? What do I even need that for? But you can look here and see, like, if you're looking for piano hammers, they got all kinds of piano hammers. They have parts. Let's see, tuning hammers. So if you go in here and you're like, I need a tuning hammer, and you can get different tuning hammers, different prices, and you can just see, you can kind of see what you can get from Shaft. You can get felt. You can get all your parts, everything. You're going to need to be a part of this, because as a pro piano technician, you're going to need to get involved in getting some stuff from Shaft. All right, so you're going to need that, and that's okay, because I'm going to help you get hooked up with Shaft, and they work with our students. It's really great for you to have that resource. But let me show you my 90% toolkit. This is everything that I need on a regular day. So most of all my money is made out of this toolkit. The one you're looking at right here, it's the one that I actually began selling this year to you guys, to students, because I was kind of having, my students were just getting whatever they wanted, or I said, go on Amazon and buy a toolkit, and you can do that. In fact, that's, I didn't put that in the slide deck, but if you go on Amazon, let's see, where was Amazon? If you go on Amazon, you can get, I'll show you the exact toolkit. Like if you're like, I just need a basic toolkit, a cheap toolkit, you can go on Amazon and you can go piano tuning kit. It's so easy to do, and you can look at this as $39. So is this a bad kit? No, this is good. This is a good starter kit. I mean, it doesn't cost that much money. Part of my whole webinar back in early this year was to show people that a mechanic spends like $5,000-$10,000 on tools, just on tools. I mean, more than that, And you can buy a $40 toolkit, and you can make it happen. You can tune pianos, and you make a lot of money doing it just by buying a basic toolkit. I do like these tuning hammers here. This one right here that has like the more wood handle, the solid wood. If you get like this, don't buy this little tiny one, and don't buy this little cheap one that's like for students. It's like $19. See how it's kind of like little, and it's got this little tiny. I'm not saying that wouldn't work. I just like to have a really steady one. And then if you really want to get, fiber tuning hammer, watch this. This is awesome, because I used to sell the Shark, and a carbon fiber tuning hammer is typically like $400. Okay, look at this, $58. Look at this. Okay, $99. This is actually pretty epic what China has done. They've made carbon fiber tuning hammers. Okay. For $50, $60. And I've sent a few of these to some of my students. a phenomenal deal. I mean, it's not going to be as good as like the Fujin or the Shark or some tuning hammer that, cost $400. That's not the point. The point is it's going to be better than a cheap student hammer, and it's like $50. I mean, I don't know. It's China. That's what they do. It's not great because there are American companies like Fujin and some other big companies that you can spend $400 or $500 on your tuning hammer. So would I do that? Maybe in the future. But for now, what I offer you guys is I want to show you my 90% kit, kind of what I'm taking out with me. That's all it is right there. Now, this is a brand new one. Mine looks a little raggedy. I've got some duct tape on it, stuff like that. I've got some, maybe some dirt on there. But it's my toolkit. This is the exact toolkit that I have. All the important things that I take, I put in this kit for you, and you can actually buy it if you sign up for the mentorship. I'll give you a link and you can buy it. Here's kind of that toolkit exploded. So I just want to talk about some of these items today and give you kind of an idea of what items I'm actually using. You have basically some screwdrivers, some basic screwdrivers, some pliers. Some of these blue pliers, you can get these at, anywhere, Amazon. You can get them in Lowe's, whatever. Then I have these are specialty pliers. These are like little regulation tools. There's my ruler, a nice tuning hammer. I send you guys a really nice wooden hammer. It's like got brass and really heavy duty. It's the professional shaft tuning hammer, and a 5-inch tuning extension. Then these are just some regulation tools. They're all kind of blurry and they're kind of small, but they're all basically tools that we use to regulate different screws on the piano action. And here's really part of it is this. These are the mutes. These are the mutes that I use, and you can get these other mutes and they're junk. These are the best mutes. These are the only mutes I would use. If you gave me here's some junky mutes, I just throw them in the trash because these felt mutes are phenomenal. This is the Pabst treble mute right here. And I'm assuming you guys can actually see my cursor. Yes, you can. And then these are the little skinny rubber mutes, and they're so good to use on like spinets and small pianos. Move over here, you have a lid prop, a rapid easer. This is something I'll talk about. A rapid voicer, some voicings, some chalk. And I threw in a tuning fork just for fun. I don't use a tuning fork technically, but you might want to use it when you're practicing. So I threw it in there in the kit because I know every piano tuner, like old school, nod to old school. We're gonna use an AccuTuner, but I threw that in there. So this is really kind of exploded. Now my toolkit has some other stuff in it, some glue and some felt and some Teflon and some other little things in there. And I didn't put like the CA glue or the lubricants in the box because I don't want them to spill. But so there are some things like that, scissors and some little I don't know what they're called. They're not forceps, but little scissors, medical scissors and little tweezers. All this stuff is super important. This stuff all matters. Now, I know you guys don't know what it is, and that's okay. I mean, some of you might if you're piano tuners, but some of you guys are like, I don't know. So let's see here. Make sure. So there are some things. Yeah, I was checking the audio. Good. The Big Four focus. I'm going to talk today about the Big Four focus, the things that make me the most money. And when I was entering my mentorship, my mentors were telling me, and we're going to talk today about all the things that you could possibly do, okay, that you could possibly get involved in. And, but I want you to see the Big Four that we're doing: tuning, repair, regulation, and voicing. These are the things that we're focusing on. Now, if you know how to do these things, and I mean, these should really be bigger. I got to make these bigger. Oh, that's so big. That's so big. Okay, we'll make it like medium big. Tuning, repair, regulation, voicing. This tuning is your bread and butter. Everybody's going to want you to tune something. But in the beginning, you're always going to get a call and they're going to say, hey, my piano's broken. I got a broken key and I need it tuned. You're always going to have to learn to repair, because if you can't repair, you go there like, oh, I'm sorry, I tuned your piano, but these 3 keys are still broken. You're going to look kind of stupid, actually. And if you don't have somebody to help you as a mentor, you're gonna just be like, I don't know. Many times in my early days, I'd call Jack and be like, hey, man, I'm at this piano, this is happening, and that's what the mentorship was even built for. You're not going to know every repair. It doesn't matter how many online courses you take. You're not going to know every repair. You're not going to know every scenario. I don't think it's possible. It's not possible. You're going to have a mentor, and that's really what our Apex is. It's all the courses, of course. The courses, of course, but you're also going to be mentored. I'm going to be there for you, and my students, they just text my cell phone, and I just talk to them. So it's a different kind of vibe. than any other online course that you're going to find out there. And that's what you need to know. If you get into a tuning and you're like, oh man, this is weird, I don't understand what's happening, you're not alone. You're not alone. You don't have to be alone. You're never alone. You can do regulation. Regulation pays a lot of money. And voicing is something that, nobody knows how to do it. Nobody knows how to do it, or they don't want to tell you how to do it. When I started this whole career, I'm a musician. I wanted to learn how to do voicing, and I wanted to do it. So I started asking around, and nobody would tell me. And you know what? I kind of figured something out. I kind of figured out they don't know what they're doing. Okay, that's number one. They don't know what they're doing. Okay, they don't know. And so they won't tell you because they don't know. Or they do know what they're doing, and maybe they just don't care enough to talk to you about it. So I went to Jack and I said, Jack, man, I got to know how to voice. And he's like, okay, well, here, let me show you. And he started telling me everything about voicing. Now, Jack was a veteran technician. He had actually created his own sort of way to voice, and you kind of have to. So this is what the Rapid Voicer course is. This is what the Rapid Voicer tools are. Jack had his own tools, and I interviewed Jack for days, and I wrote this book. All of the videos are me doing the thing. I mean, this is phenomenal what Jack left us here, because I was confused all over the place. How am I supposed to, people say, my piano's bright, what do I do? Nothing. If you don't know what you're doing, you can't do anything. And so you can't make money, and you also lose your business to another tech who knows what he's doing. So not after you learn how to do the voicing. And voicing is one of those things. It is, as you guys might know, piano tuning is kind of a closed, like, secret. And maybe now with a few online schools popping up and things like that. But when I started 15, 18, 20 years ago, closed out, man. If you didn't know somebody who would take you and show you, there just wasn't imagine before YouTube, what you would have done. I need to voice my piano. Now you go in there and type in voice my piano, you probably like thousands of videos, right? Some of them are completely ridiculous, and some of them are good. So what do you never know. But with me, you're going to know exactly what I do, what Jack did, what actual master piano technicians are doing. If you go on YouTube and figure out, how to voice a piano, I'd be very nervous to try that on somebody's piano, to be honest with you guys, even though I am on YouTube and I do teach YouTube stuff. I'm just saying, it's really hard to learn this stuff if somebody's not going to show you. And that's what Jack did for me, and that's why I wrote the Rapid Voicer. I will tell you one more thing. When I went to write this, Jack was like, I'll show you how to do it, but I don't really want to deal with it, because he created this system. He would go to some meetings and he would tell people, hey, look what I did, and they would just like make fun of him, basically. Or, like poo-poo him. Oh, Jack, that's nice, whatever. Now, a couple technicians found it and were like, oh my gosh, this works. It's absolutely is magical. And if you read any of the reviews on Rapid Voicer, if you can even find some, I think I took that site down, but there were a bunch of people that were doing it and like, oh my gosh, it's insane how quick and how effective it is. But Jack quit telling people about it because nobody was listening to him. They kind of acting like, okay, man, whatever, because there's a lot of know-it-alls in the piano trade. Sorry to say there are. So don't be a know-it-all, That has nothing to do with this lesson. That's in the course. Don't be know-it-all. Make even more with upsells. I want to talk about upsells, and we talked about this in detail in the last webinar, but I wanted to put it in here because I'm talking about the big four, okay? I'm going to take you on a journey right now to how to really make money and stay on track. So don't go crazy, but you're going to do basic upsells like repairs. I charge $100 an hour. Piano cleaning, $275 at minimum. Grand regulation, $1,075. You want to restring a bass section on a piano, $1,800. So you could see how some of these things that can be done in the home without ever taking the piano or the action away, you can do these in their house, okay? And so for example, for regulation, this is a good time to show this slide. This is my regulation table, and I made it for like $75. I bought these at Harbor Freight, these little whatever they're called, and I had a migraine last night, so I'm pretty sure, I don't know, these are sawhorses, and this is a door. Okay, so on this YouTube video that I have, if you type in regulation table Apex on YouTube, you'll see the exact dimensions. But for under $100, I can walk that table into their garage, into their front room, set it up, very simply, sometimes I do it on their driveway because it's a nice day, and I can do all my regulation right there in the home. I don't have to transport anything. I can take all my shop to them with some simple stuff like this. So let's talk about big jobs. Restringing a piano. I wanted to kind of give you guys perspective on this. You got the feed me. Okay, hey, TJ's tuning a piano and he's watching. You want to restring a piano? It's $6,000 at minimum. These prices might be a little bit outdated with inflation, the hyperinflation that we're in. Bass strings on a piano, $2,500. New hammers on a piano, $3,000 to $4,000. So if you find a piano that needs new hammers, or a grand action rebuild, $6,000 to $8,000. These are all big jobs. These are the big jobs. Are they more money? Now they do look like more money, right? They absolutely look like more money than the little jobs. So repairs, $100, cleaning, $200, grand regulation, $1,000. That's a pretty big, easy job. But if you get into this, restring a piano, $6,000. Now some of you guys are like, that's what I'm talking about. Let me get that job. This job might take you a week. This job will take you many, many, many hours, and you have supplies in there that might cost you $500. So you've got time and effort, some extra special tools. You've got a lot of time. So sometime in the early part of my career, I realized that when I would do like a grand action rebuild, for say, and I would charge $6,000 to rebuild a grand action. So I'd put on new whippings, new hammers, new everything. I'd go buy all the parts, and the parts themselves, especially hammers and whippings and everything, would be like $2,500, maybe $3,000. By the time it depends on how nice the parts are and how many new parts are needed. So out of this $6,000 to $8,000, you might have $2,000 or $3,000 in parts, and then the action rebuild might take you a week or longer, depending on your skill level and how often you do it. And as a field tech, I'll tell you, we don't do that a lot. If that's your focus, you might do that a lot. But if your focus is, if you stick with the big four, like I'm telling you to do, then you're probably not going to be doing a lot of rebuilding, because that's going to take you a lot of time. But I want you guys to see this. I do rebuild actions, and I have made some good money. And it helps you grow your business, especially in the early days when you don't have as many clients, so you're not tuning as much, but then you find somebody who needs new hammers. Okay, now you're making an extra $3,000. That's a lot of tunings. That's 20 tunings or so that you could do. So if you think about it in that sense, if you can put new hammers on a piano and you can charge, say, $4,000, and then you take $1,200 is the parts, and you can outsource the labor of hanging them and everything. So it's pretty easy on certain pianos. So you get a $2,800 profit off that job. Might take you a couple days. It doesn't take as long as a whole rebuild. But if you're charging $175 per tuning, that's 16 tunings, okay? 16 tunings that it would take you to make the same profit to put new hammers on. So if you take 16 tunings and you divide that by like 2 a day, maybe, that's 8 days, maybe 2 or 3 a day. You could see that's about a week of tunings, 15, 16 tunings if you're really cranking. So the money, what I want you guys to understand is, in the beginning, when you're new at this is not the focus. This is the focus right here. Tuning, repair, regulation, voicing. That's where all the big money is, because that's where the bread and butter money is. Now, that is where everybody's at. That's where everybody's living. Hey, I need a tuning. I need a repair. Oh, my piano plays like junk. I need regulation. When you start quoting people $6,000 for action rebuild, they start going, well, I might buy a new piano, or, oh, this piano's not that much. You got to feel this out, that this is bigger work. And it is out there, but as a field tech, I have not focused as much on this, because the times that I've done it, I've realized, wow, I still worked all week, maybe even 2 weeks. I got all the parts, I did all the stuff, and at the end of the day, I could have just went in, tuned a piano, repaired a couple keys, and done that 14 times, which is very, very low stress for me. So it's a matter of what you want to focus your time on. I really like taking stuff apart. I like breaking stuff apart, taking it apart, putting it together. So to me, grand action rebuilding was very rewarding, fun. I know some other techs that work with me that they don't want to touch any of that stuff. They're like, no, I'm not touching it. If it needs rebuilt, I'm not doing it. And they just have enough tunings, and they just don't want to do it. And so I'm kind of like straddled the fence, and I always want to do these big jobs. The one thing I will tell you about big jobs and more money is it's more liability. So I have had some real anxiety when I've got a piano in my shop, or, when I say shop, I mean my garage, and I'm working on it. Or I did have a shop for a while, like an actual building I was in. So I'm in there, I'm doing my stuff, and you get to the end, and it's like, what if the client doesn't like it? Or what if it doesn't work out as well? Or what if the parts didn't fit together quite? Like, it's very technical work, okay? And it takes some time. So anything you're going to do like this, you want to do it over time, and you want to take it slow, and maybe even have like a mentor. One of our students is working, I think, with a mentor who's a rebuilder in his town. Dude, it's amazing because he's going to get all this rebuilding experience, and he's going to have a really good, successful, long-term career rebuilding, probably because, when I started, I had a guy who was rebuilding pianos, and he said, come every Saturday and rebuild with me. Hey, from Canada, what's up, Barkles? Imagine most of the info applies to us up here. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm considering making the move to piano tuning. Yeah. Thank you for joining in the live stream, the live sessions. Yes, everything I'm saying now applies to Canada. I got some students up in Canada, and I've been to Canada one time. I went ice fishing up there, and I want to go back, but I want to go more like hiking. I don't know. Ice fishing was cool, but it wasn't like, I'm not a big fisher, so I would much rather do like ATVs or motorcycles. I want to ride my motorcycle across like real remote Canada. That's what I want to do. I've got like a KLR, like a dirt bike that's like across. I've got the motorcycle to ride across Canada. I just need to do it. Restringing a piano is fun. I love doing bass strings. I like this work, but all of this work comes with more reliability, and you have to know what you're doing. So I was blessed to be able to have my buddy Tim. He was an older tech. Every Saturday for a year, I was going to the shop. He was rebuilding pianos, taking them apart. He had actions over here, and he was crazy. He was, crazy, but he was like plates over there, and this piano, he would restring the whole piano. And to me, that was crazy. I was like, all right, I'm bringing my sandwich. I brought my little, cooler, and I was there all day. I was like, what do I do? And I did it. I did it for free. Whatever he wanted me to do, I just do it. And he did it for free too. It was like, I'll help you. He said, you come in and do the work, and I'll show you what to do. And, he had me like sanding different things. Like kind of, some of it was like busy work, but he was a really good teacher. Some of he was just doing it like, here, fix these sharps. And so I learned how to, redo sharps and things. But stuff that I would never have done on my own, I was able to. So if you're able to find, people ask me a lot of times, do I need a mentor? No, not really, because the mentorship is a mentor. I am your mentor, but I'm focused on these things. In the mentorship, we are talking about the big four: tuning, repair, regulation, voicing. If you're thinking, oh, I want to do grand action rebuilding, yeah, you probably you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to get to this level first, and then you're gonna keep going. All right, so let's talk about this. How do you get paid? So this is a little bit more technical than we'll get into there. You can get paid by check. You get paid by cash. You get paid by Square. I mean, some of that's obvious, right? Yeah, I've done the drive across Canada a couple times. Oh, wow, man. Yeah. I want to drive across Canada on my motorcycle. Checks, cash, Square, Gazelle invoices. Gazelle is the program we talked about yesterday that does everything for you. And Gazelle has invoices and it has Stripe payments. So you send an invoice, they can click a button and pay you, but with credit card, bam, right there into your bank. So dude, these things are so great. These things are so, PayPal. I put paywall. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. I put this on here because, in the old days, people say check. Everybody wants cash. Cash is king. If you can get paid cash, it's even better. But most people pay you like a church will pay you with a check and all that. But people, individuals will almost always, in today's day in America, will almost always want to pay you by Venmo, okay? And some people will say Cash App. Some people will say Zelle. I mean, I have all of them available, but I always push people to Venmo because I just don't like bookkeeping and all these different apps. So I tell them just check is best. You're going to give me a check. That's easy. Everybody, if you don't have a check, I can do Venmo. And then you can take Square. You can use Square for mobile credit cards. So all of this I'm going to help you with in the mentorship. This is all kind of set up for your business, and we do a lot about that. But when you're in the house, you want to be as a business, able to take any payment. Like, any way you want to pay me, I'm ready to take your money. And that sounds weird, but like, we're standing here. How do I pay you? How do you want to pay me? Venmo? No, I don't have Venmo. Okay. Cash? No, I don't have any cash. Check, Square. You have all of them set up so that you can be paid, especially with invoices. Somebody calls you on the phone. Hey, I got this invoice. Can I pay over the phone? Yes, you can pay over the phone. I have a Square. So you'd open up your Square app or your Stripe account, and you can enter in their credit card right there and take their credit card. You, as a sole proprietor, owning your own company, have the power to type in a credit card on your computer. It's very easy through Stripe or through Square. The Square mobile app, I can take somebody's credit card over the phone. Right here, here it is, and I can just take their credit card, bam, right into my bank account. So right now we are living in a world where you can just technically you can do that, and you can get as much as you want. Now, if you put your questions in here, I'll answer them, but I'm moving straight through this. I'm going to go back and make sure there's not anything I missed. I didn't miss anything. Let's see. Here's something else. We're getting a little bit towards sort of the end of the main content that I wanted to share today. I hope that I was very clear with you up here about the big jobs, about the tools that you need, about how you can make money upselling, and what your main focus is. I think if you walk away from this webinar today and go tuning, repair, regulation, voicing, it really is, this is kind of an important thing in my mind for you guys, because in piano technology, you can get in all kinds of issues. And I see my students doing it all the time. They'll be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, or hey, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, I don't know. This is maybe not try that yet, or maybe that that could work. I've had some success stories. I'll put this is not the big four, but like, what if I said there's other things that you could do? What are other things that you could do in piano technology? You could do piano moving, and I'm only saying that because TJ, one of our students, started a piano moving company. So he started his own piano moving company, and I think he's doing really good with it. I'm too old to move pianos, and I don't want to move pianos. But piano moving, there's a lot of money in piano moving. What else could you do? You could do rebuilding. That's actions or rebuilding the whole piano. There's a lot of money in that. It just takes a lot more. These over here are harder to get to because why? Because it takes more money to get that started. I mean, you have to do rebuilding. You kind of need a shop. To do piano moving, you need a big truck. It's not something you just can just go do. What else could you think of? I can think of some other. I'm going to think of some other things. So you got piano moving, piano rebuilding, piano. This is another one that I know piano tech that has done this. Piano refinishing. This is piano refinishing is extremely hard to do. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. It's like a whole nother trade. Refinishing furniture and refinishing pianos, you kind of have to be a piano tuner and a refinisher. So you do rebuilding, refinishing. Oh, piano lessons. You can do piano lessons, and I did that a lot in my first. When I first started, I did piano lessons. But piano lessons, that's not piano tuning. And the other thing is, I do have some of my students who are doing piano lessons, but I make a lot more money when I'm tuning. So if you're new at this and you know how to play the piano, I've told a couple of my students this. Yes, teach piano lessons. Why not? I mean, you can make some money, and you can kind of phase that out. But you will make a lot more money tuning pianos than you ever will make teaching pianos. It doesn't matter how many lessons you teach. You are going to make a lot more money tuning and repairing than you will ever make teaching. I know that for an absolute fact because I owned a studio. I was teaching over 50 students a week, and I just at one point realized I'm making way more money tuning, and I'm doing it in less time. So, but piano lessons are very relevant to you guys. If you know how to play the piano and you're trying to become a sole proprietor, one thing it's really about survival. Piano cleaning. And piano cleaning is, I talked about piano cleaning up here, but piano moving, rebuilding, refinishing, lessons, anything you can do. Piano, I can't think of, I'm not going to think of any more here, but this is what some people will say, like, I thought of different things. Selling pianos. Oh, that's the one. That's the one that I wanted to do, guys. I wanted to sell pianos. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to buy these pianos. I'm going to sell them. I'm going to have these pianos and I'm going to sell them. And it's going to be like, I saw the money. And then the other thing I wanted to do was repurpose pianos. I wanted to repurpose pianos. And that was a cool idea. I was going to take the plates out and make coffee tables, or I was going to take out, there's this guy on the internet that makes piano, like art. He takes the whole piano. It's amazing. It's the best thing I've ever seen. He takes the whole piano keyboard and like turns it into a giant, hawk, like on the wall, and it sells for like thousands of dollars. And you can get these pianos for cheap or free. You can get pianos for free all day. So I thought, oh, I'm going to repurpose pianos. But you know what? I never did any of these things successfully except teaching piano. I never did any of those things really successfully because they were just harder to make money at. And I have some students that are doing some of these right here, and I know people doing these things. Selling pianos is extremely hard. And here's the thing I'll tell you. If you're going to try to sell pianos, like one of our students is selling pianos, then I think what you want to also do is move pianos. If you put those two together, like TJ's doing right now, he's going to make some money. Because the biggest hurdle on selling pianos that I ever found was moving them. I could get, people wanted to give me free pianos all the time. They were always like, hey, free piano. I was like, man, I got inventory like crazy in my mind, but I got to go pick them up. So that free piano, if I paid a piano mover, would cost me like $400, $300. So I would already have $300 or $400 in the piano, okay? Then I've got to sell it, and it's a cheap piano because nobody's giving you really nice pianos. They're giving you like basic, cheap pianos. Now you're trying to sell a cheap piano for $700. You've already paid $400. Now you got to move it to them. It's just a mess. Piano moving, piano selling. If you're going to do any of those two things, do them together like TJ's doing. And TJ is in the mentorship, and he can help you out. But these things are also something that will take you more time. You have to have a place to put the piano. You have to have a truck to move the piano. You have to have all these things. And if you're a hustler like TJ and you're like, man, I'm going to do this, then yes, these things could be done. Rebuilding, piano refinishing, maybe your father-in-law refinishes furniture and you see an in and you're like, man, I'm going to refinish pianos. There's money over there too, okay? But in the mentorship, and for most people, you're gonna find money in tuning, repair, regulation, voicing. This is always going to be money. You remember what I told you guys earlier about my 90% toolkit? This is my 90% toolkit. Once I have this, I can tune, repair, regulate, and voice. I don't need anything. I can walk to their house, literally ride my motorcycle, get a ride over there, and make $100 to $200 per hour out of this tool case, no problem. So that's why I think my mentors were like, you know, to focus on the real thing. Because everybody wants to sell a piano. Everybody wants to move one. Everyone wants to rebuild one or refinish or do this stuff, repurpose them. And those are kind of things. But a field tech, I think that's what I always thought I was, and what I really kind of preach is, Big Four focus for field tech. You're out there in the field. Now, like I said, the piano technology is kind of a large field. So there are guys that are doing all of these things with great money. In fact, the piano movers I know, they probably make more money than any piano tuner I've ever met. And they have 5 trucks. They have to have employees. They have to have all these insurances, and they have to move the pianos. But it's a really big business. All right, it can be done, but they don't tune pianos. See, the piano movers I know rarely tune pianos because they figured out, hey, I can make so much money moving these pianos. I'm not tuning them. They won't even touch them. They're just like, here you go, you do it. And they know how to tune pianos, but once they get their moving business really going, they're busy picking up pianos all day. They're not gonna get down on their knees and repair the pedal lyre. In fact, piano movers break that crap and then they leave it for us to fix. So they throw the piano together real quick, put the pedal on backwards and all that stuff, and then you get a call and you got to go fix it. So there's money in it for everybody, really, and there's stuff to do. All right, so here is the 3 things I don't leave home without. And this is the 3 things I take, every way, WHERE. There you go. I'm making my slide deck right here in real time, guys. The 3 things that I don't want to be at an appointment without. And this is CA glue. So I've given you the 2P10 and the hot stuff right here. The Rapid Voicer, the Rapid Easer, those two tools that I take with me, they're very simple, and I'll explain them. And then CLP, ProTech, and WD-40. I said that like it was MMA fight or something. Take the WD-40. You have to take WD-40. And most people are going to make fun of me for that. These piano tuners that think they know everything will make fun of me for that. They'll probably even comment in the comments like, never use WD-40 on a piano. Don't do it. And I was in a PGG conference once, and that was the whole premise of this meeting was, what things you should do or whatever, and the guy was like teaching the course or whatever. And to keep in mind, these people that are teaching there at the PTG conference, they're just piano tuners like me. They're just guys. Who knows? Maybe they barely even know what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe they know a lot what they're doing, but they're teaching, and they're registered piano technicians, whatever. All right. So I say all that just to preface my my WD-40. I'm going to put it on here, and I'm not going to be afraid to say it. I use WD-40 on pianos, and I use it a lot. And there's people out there like, you can never use WD. So the guy's teaching the class is like, never. And he brings up, somehow WD-40 was brought up, and he was like, I would never, ever, 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 ever put WD-40 on a piano. Ever, ever touch a piano. Any part of a piano would never touch a piano with WD-40. And I was just sitting there. I think I said something. I was like, I don't know. Because look, my mentors, they had WD-40. In fact, one of them, he had WD-40 wrapped in black tape because people were picking on him all the time for using it. Or people were like, oh, people think it's just something. I don't know what's wrong with it. I still cannot figure out what's wrong with people. But WD-40, if you got a squeaky pedal, you can put it on there. It's gone. Literally gone. It never comes back. It's like that's the thing that you grew up with. Like your hinges are squeaking on your door in your house, and your dad just runs out, grabs some WD-40. Now I put WD-40 on here, and I made sure I put the Easy Reach can. This is the best can you can get, and it's also not any WD-40. There's like 10 or 20 different kinds of it now. I never use anything, just this, the old school. My grandpa used it. It's been around forever. Look, I don't know what it would do. You know what I do? I spray WD-40 on my car dashboard and wipe it off. Like literally clean my dashboard of my car with WD-40. And it's better than anything like Armor All or any of that stuff that you pay for. It's crazy. You can spray it all over whatever you want to. I guess. I mean, if you spray it on wood and it looks like it's wet, if you come back an hour later, it's gone. It evaporates. All right. So I love WD-40. I'm not going to leave home without it. It's in my car. It's in my trunk because every time I try to go without WD-40, there's something squeaking and I can't get it to stop. And you can't get paid if the piano doesn't quit squeaking, right? Now, the piano industry has something called ProTech CLP. It is ProTech CLP. It's actually a cleaner lubricant protectant. I think that's what CLP means, cleaner lubricant protectant. It's kind of basically, to me, it's like WD-40 smells a little bit different. It technically isn't WD-40, guys. It's not. People that are on here will get all, if they're in the piano industry, they're going to be all like trying to tell me exactly what it is. Like CLP is not WD-40. Okay, it's not even. And people will say the biggest argument against WD-40. People will say, well, WD-40 is not a lubricant. It's not a lubricant. It's not a lubricant. Well, it technically isn't a lubricant. As far as you read it, it means water displacement 40. It's getting out moisture. So I don't know what they're talking about. It's not a lubricant because it's technically not a lubricant. They're right. But what did I put on my bike chain as a kid? WD-40. Did it work? Yes, it did. So I don't know. Maybe I'm like one of those old guys. I'm not that old, but I feel like that's what I always used to do. Spray WD-40 on there. And I've made some funny videos on YouTube about this. People get all upset about it, and they just can't stop being upset about WD-40, but I've never stopped using it. My mentors use it. I've never had a single complaint. It fixes about everything on the piano for me. And sometimes I carry around this little tiny bottle that's like $12 of CLP because in case I get to a really expensive piano like a Steinway in a studio that's like $100,000, I leave my WD-40 in the car just because I don't want anybody causing me any problems, right? So I do that. I'm not just like going to go spray their $100,000 piano with WD-40. Why not? I don't know. It probably would be fine, But just because everybody's all upset about WD-40, I leave it in the car, and I might grab the CLP Protec, and I look like a real pro when I bring that in. And I got the little eyedropper, and I eyedrop it on there. The thing is, you can't spray CLP. You can't spray it in there with the little, it doesn't reach in there. WD-40, you can reach it right down in there. One little spray, the hammer's not sticking anymore. You know what I mean? The center pin is clean. It's done. Never gonna get thing. I got into an argument last week on one of the Facebook groups, and I deleted my comments after a while because I realized nobody's gonna listen. Nobody should pay attention. So I'm gonna quit trying to help people that don't want. I'm not gonna try to tell them what I'm telling them because they're like acting like they know everything. So I just deleted it. I'm like, whatever. So, but WD-40, you can use it if you want to. You can use it if you want to. I do. And I'm going to talk about it. My students use it, and they're like, seems fine. Jack used it for 30 years, and he never had any problems with it. So everybody keeps telling me that WD-40 is going to corrode the piano and ruin the felt, and that they've got all this proof. And I'm telling you guys, I have asked for proof over and over and over again. I've been asking for proof for years. I've been asking somebody to give me some proof, and nobody can do it. So until I see it, I ain't gonna believe it. What I do know is it works. I take it with me. I never leave home without it. That's the title of this slide. 3 things I take everywhere. And really, CLP you can put that right out because I don't take that everywhere. I don't even technically have any right now. I'm out of it, and it's expensive, so I don't need it. But for you guys, I would take, if I was really going everywhere, I would take CLP, WD-40. And then let's talk about something that's less controversial and maybe nerdy. And let's talk about CA glue, because this is something I really think beyond lubrication, which is really important in pianos, you're going to get tons of squeaks and you're going to need WD-40. So just know that. When you get to something that's broken, you're going to need glue. And look, I didn't get to put this on there yet, but like Gorilla Glue is trash, okay? Don't ever, this stuff is trash. It's the worst trash ever. Where's the paper I have? Okay. All of this glue will not work. None of this will work. Never put this on. This is something I'll say, never put this on a piano because more likely this is the stuff that causes a lot of trouble, the Gorilla Glue. Now, and I'm not going to try to be like, never put this on a piano, because you could probably use wood glue of Gorilla Glue. You could probably use the super glue if you wanted to use a really crappy trash super glue. You could use Gorilla Glue on stuff, and it probably won't work, but it's probably not going to be the end of the world. So you can try it and see how much of a failure it really is. Spray adhesive, I would never use this stuff. I don't use this stuff. This stuff doesn't work for me. And if some people I've met love Gorilla Glue. But I have found pianos with a lot of Gorilla Glue on them, and regardless of if it worked or didn't work or whatever, it's trash to me. This is practically the glue that I use every time. 2P10. It comes in 3 viscosities: thin, medium, and then gel. Okay, so thick, and then there might be a gel. There might be a 4th. Sometimes there's 4. There's like thin. Thin is water thin. I'm talking water thin. It runs like more runny than water, if that's possible. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but if I thought there was something that was runnier than water, it would be CA glue thin. It's so thin that when you put it on, and I think it's called a seeping, or you put it on a crack and it like shoots through the crack and it seeps all the way down into the crack. That's the red. The yellow in the CA Super T, this is called hot stuff. That's what this is called, hot stuff. 2P10 CA glue or hot stuff. Hot stuff is the best, I think, but it's harder to get. The medium is more like it's a little bit runny, but it's like not as runny. So you can put it on something and it kind of pulls up a little bit. The thin, just any crack, man, it just goes into it. And then the thick is like it is more gelish. It's not totally gel, but it's like thick. It's got some thickness to it. And then they have a gel, which I don't use the gel very often. It's just really thick. But on 2P10, I use thin, medium, thick. Okay. Now, with this CA glue, you're also going to get something that is called a accelerator. Okay. So watch this. This is phenomenal. This stuff right here is very good. hot stuff with an accelerator. This stuff gives me a headache. I don't like to use it inside. I use it at the end of the appointment. I don't like to spray it and then have to smell it the whole time I'm tuning. It just gives me a headache. And I've gotten some different brands, but this is like a CA glue, 3 viscosities, an instant debonder, okay, which gets it off your hands, because this will glue your fingers straight together. And then an accelerator that if you click it real quick, you hit the accelerator, it dries that glue like immediately, literally like 1001 dried like immediately. Maybe not even that quick. Like psst. You spray this accelerator on CA glue, it immediately bonds. So you can hold 2 pieces of wood together with some what are those, like tweezers, or with your little pliers, and you can put some glue on there, and you go, and it is done. It is glued. You're done. What other glue does that? No other glue does that. I've never in all my life seen a glue work as good as this stuff. This is insane. You can't buy it at Lowe's. I don't know why. Probably because, like you saw there, it said hazmat required. And because if you get this stuff on your hands, it will eat your skin right off your hands. It will glue your skin together, melt your skin to your skin. It'll melt your skin to your shirt. So if you're holding a rag and this CA glue seeps through the rag, your finger will melt into the rag. Tss, that quick. It burns it right into your skin. And that's probably why you don't get it at Lowe's. That's probably why. You can get it at Woodcraft. You can get it on the internet. You can get it at these industrial places. You can buy it at Woodcraft, but Woodcraft is a pro grade. Like, you can buy some CA glues at like model shops, like if you're going to get models or something, but building models. But CA glue is phenomenal. I could never do the work I'm doing without CA glue. And I didn't put this on there because I think I was just kind of busy working this out, but tacky glue, Joann Fabrics, right? Let's look. This is the stuff right here, guys. This is the stuff, the original tacky. And then they also have one that is, don't buy the clear gel, but I always use these little tiny bottles, these little tiny ones. I have one in my case. This is the stuff that I use for felt or anything that's like, it's a white glue. It's kind of like, it would be similar to like an Elmer's glue, but it's really, it's a quick tack glue. In other words, you put 2 pieces of felt together, they kind of stick together. It does take a while to glue it together, but it does stick together. It sticks together pretty quick there. So I'm going to add this to my slide deck here too for you guys. But tacky glue is the original tacky. And then they have one that's the same color. I think it's a little more, it's a little more thick. It's thick tack. It's a quick tack. Let's see, tacky. Let's see, tacky glue thick. Let's see, it's really actually good too. It's just a super thick tacky glue. This Tight Bond's actually pretty. I'm not going to go through every glue. I can't open that. It won't let me. But this Tight Bond has a couple glues that I use. I definitely do use wood glue. Tight Bond wood glue. This is it. This isn't a glue. This is funny because this is like turning into a glue webinar. This is so dorky. Tight Bond Ultimate. This probably won't open either. But it's on Uline. Tight Bond Ultimate glue is going to be the one that you're going to want. Okay, this Tight Bond Ultimate, it's waterproof. It's phenomenal. It looks like, Tight Bond 3. This is stuff you can buy at Lowe's. It's not $54. That's probably for like 50 bottles. But, any of this wood glue can be used. But in the field, I can't use it in the field because I don't have time. I'm trying to glue something together. So anything you're gluing together wood in the field is going to be right here, you're going to be living in that world. If you got some felt, you're going to want to use tacky glue. If you got some squeaks, you're going to use this. And then the rapid voicer, rapid voicer, and rapid easer. I hope you guys aren't hearing that. I hope you guys aren't hearing that notification because that's kind of annoying me. But that might be a good time to show you that notification is coming from. It's coming from right here. It's coming from the Apex Piano Mentorship, coming from Bolster. And we're going to talk about how you guys can get in here. You guys are already in here if you're in the boot camp. If you're not in the boot camp yet, then you should just make sure you register. Go to apexpiano.com/bootcamp, okay? That's all you have to do, and you can register, then you're going to get in there. And this was the slide that I always like to put this in here. Any of my webinars, you can see it in there. Goodbye 9 to 5, because when you're a piano tuner, you're not going to be working 9 to 5. You know, it's over. And that's kind of like, I never wanted to work the 9 to 5. I always wondered why my mom was working so much. My dad was working 9 to 5. And they said, we go to work. I remember being a little kid in the car, and I'd say, why are you going to work? And they're like, well, we go to work so we can get a car and we can pay the... I'm like, why do you need a car? And they said, well, we need a car to go to work. And I got into this circle with my parents early on in my childhood, and I thought, you're working really hard for things that you know, to go into this circle. I wanted something different. Now, I don't think it's bad if you have a 9 to 5 job. Some people like that. Some people want to have a 9 to 5 job, and that's fine. And in fact, if everybody didn't have a 9 to 5, I don't know what the world would be like. I mean, philosophically, it could probably be still pretty cool. We could just all have different hours and do things. But in the 9 to 5 that we know, it hasn't always been like this. I mean, remember back in the day when there are artisans and people working, and there's farmers, and farmers don't work 9 to 5. You know, I mean, it's not like we have to all agree that we're going to go get a job, to get a car, to get a job, to get to work, and drive the car to work, to get to work, to go back. It's like we don't have to all agree to do that. So goodbye 9 to 5. If you want to be a piano technician, you're never going to work 9 to 5 unless you work for like a university or something, which I don't personally want to do that. I wanted to do this because I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to have freedom in my life, and I wanted to do the things I want to do when I want to do them. That's what it started early for me. So ask your questions right now. Emerson, what's up, Emerson? Love the tacky glue. Yeah. Bang. It says bang. Oh yeah, you guys did hear the bang. You're hearing that bing because of Bolster. Every time somebody puts I probably should close Bolster on my computer early for me. So ask your questions. Okay, now I'm just getting all kinds of audio problems. But we're getting ready to wrap this today, guys. Ask your questions. Make sure you enroll in Bootcamp, apexpiano.com/bootcamp. You're going to get the replays, you get all the extras. You can ask me questions. You can talk to me about this. You can get a feel for what it would be like to be in the mentorship. We do have a world-class learning platform, and there are videos, there are lessons, everything how to do up-close videos. There's also people in there, my students, my alumni, people who are running their own business now that have done the training, who are actually in Bolster. They're talking. It's a community of people like me. Some of them are nerdier than me. Some of them are less nerdy. Some of them like to talk about glue a lot more than me. Some of them maybe a lot less. But actually, you know what? I don't think there's anybody in there that wants to talk about glue more than me, or WD-40 for sure. I'm definitely the only one that wants to talk about WD-40 all the time. Thriving online community, that is Bolster. So you can see we post stuff up in there. Everybody's talking. Everybody's kind of talking. Let's see. Here it is right here. This is in Bolster. And so Emerson said he's going to tune his first square grand. Man, that's brave of you, Emerson. I don't think, I mean, be very careful, my friend, because square grands are completely different. I mean, you're a brave soul and a great artisan. So you might be able to pull that action out of there, but be very careful because square grand pianos have a completely different action. So I would do some research on Google, maybe look at some of the textbooks you have to know what's going on. But that's what happens. But this is Bolster. You see people are actually running their business. They're sharing things like this. They're watching videos. They're asking questions. And in that, you get like the Rapid Voicer course is right here. So all the courses are now in Bolster. And so you can go in here and you can watch the videos, and you can learn how to do everything that you need to do right on the platform, and you can talk to each other. So this is sort of what sort of made the mentorship really more personal. And so we have all these different courses and talking that we can do inside Bolster. And I should tell you that. And then you can start your journey. How do you start? How do you get involved in this? You kind of, if you've been watching, you kind of know what you get. If you really don't know what's all going on, you can watch the webinar, and I show everything about what I'm doing. Or the better thing to do at this point, if you really think you want to be a piano technician, you want to do this, then go to apply now at apexpiano.com/join. So the Apex Mentorship Now, it's an application-only program. So you have to apply first, and then once you apply, we have a chat either through voice, through a phone call, or we get on Zoom, and I just show you kind of the whole program of what we're doing. the 3-year program towards being certified master piano technician. It's a little different now than it was a year ago, but we've expanded the program, we've added a master certification, and we've made it apply only. So you have to apply, you have to talk to me, because honestly, guys, I want to know you. I want to know if this is right for you. As much as you're thinking, is this for me? I'm going to help you understand that, and I'm going to know. And I have been able to tell some people, like, if they tell me their goal and I say, like, this isn't the program for you. That's not going to help you reach that goal. Or they tell me their place in life and what they're really thinking, and I think this is important. This is a huge commitment, and I want you guys to succeed. So that's why I've kind of put the application process in play this year, so I can get a feel for what you want to do, and you can get a feel for what I'm going to do. And then as we move forward, I am your mentor. I do walk through everything from starting your business to pricing your services to researching your local area. We go through the Catalyst Marketing course. We want you to do. And it's really a business system that's already built for you. So I'm giving you everything you're going to need to really succeed and make money. So I was talking yesterday, and TJ and those guys were leaving me comments, and I think Joe had said he was going to bill this month. He's in his second year with Apex Mentorship. He's done really good, and he's billing $8,000 this month. TJ was already up to, I believe TJ was already up to $40,000. In $40,000 in revenue in his first 8 months of starting from starting the program. So he's started the program and he's been hustling. He's really not like your average story, because usually it'll take you about 6 months to start making tuning, and then you got to kind of work your way up to it. But he's already billed and invoiced about $40,000 in his first 8 months since the day he started Apex Mentorship. So Barkles just joined Bolster. Great, Barkles. I'll look for you in there, and I'll make sure that you are that you're in there and that you're actually activated in the Bootcamp, the live Bootcamp. And then I'm going to post a bunch of this stuff up here in the next couple days, and then so I'll have all that posted for you guys. Let's see if this is the right slide. I don't even know what happened to my computer. All right, guys, that's it for today. If you have any questions, I'm going to continue a conversation with you guys in Bolster through email. You got my phone number right there. You can text me anytime. You can text me and you can let me know what you want to know, how you want to know it. And I want to thank each one of you for coming to this. This is our first 3-day live event. I will be holding this 3-day live event probably about every month. It'll be very similar. It might change a little bit as I go. But if you're in the mentorship, or if you're just in the Bolster group now, you'll be notified. You'll be able to connect with me. And any questions that you have about piano technology, piano business, becoming successful, just personally, like, hey, I want to get out of my job. How do I do it? It's I've got the experience, and I can help you navigate that. I'm telling nobody to run out and quit your job tomorrow and sign up. That's not the plan. You want to do this smart. You want to make sure if you have a job, you want to try to train, you want to try to get some skill. You want to at least have some money set aside if you are planning on doing a total job quit. But moving into your own business, it's a transition. So if you're and that's the kind of stuff that we talk about during your application process and during the mentorship, so that you don't go broke. Don't go broke. You don't do anything where it's like, oh, I did this thing and now I'm broke because I didn't have any work. You got to learn the skill and build yourself up and survive. That's what it's like being a piano tuner, being an entrepreneur, being a sole proprietor. It's about surviving. And I'm going to help you guys survive. First of all, by just helping you get the right start and stay on the right path. So